Hello everyone, welcome to week number 6 in Science 200. This is a big week for us because you have a big assignment to turn in. So let us get started. First of all, let's review quickly what you did last week. So we talked about biases, and there's all different types of biases. So the researcher brings in a certain bias because he or she has an expectation of what is going to happen already because we know what we've seen in the literature, we know what we've seen in previous experiments, so we have ideas of what we think is going to happen. Confirmation bias is where you even set up the experiments to really confirm what you think is going to happen. We got to take that out if we possibly can. Our clients, subjects, patients can also confer bias. They want to please us. They want to help the study, but we want to take that type of bias out too. There's all kinds of bias. Funding bias. So depending on who funds you, you might lean a certain way to get a certain result. And so we want to take out bias in any way we can. And we talked about double-blind studies where the researcher and the test subjects, neither one know what is going on, which treatment, who is getting. And so you take out bias that way. Funding, we try to get funding through the federal government, through the National Institutes of Health, the Cancer Institute, and National Human Genome Research Institute, the different institutes of the NIH. And this takes out that funding bias. If a pharmaceutical company pays you to do research on a drug, you better believe they want to have some positive results. And so if you get federal funding, then you don't have that pressure. So there are all kinds of biases, but there are all kinds of ways to avoid biases. You also learned about the Deepwater Horizon oil spill a bit more, and this week you will find out even more. And this to me is really one of the very important parts of the damage that the oil spill caused. And you worked on your planning document. Okay, so this week in your Sumo web text, you're going to examine a little bit more about the Deepwater Horizon oil spill and the ecological damage that it did. And one example that they give you in this reading is the forams. And forams are tiny microscopic organisms that live in the ocean that many other organisms feed on. And they produce these tests or shells, basically is what they are, but they are microscopic, so you cannot see them except with a microscope. But they're part of food chains and food webs. And their populations were completely decimated by the oil spill. And did we have other types of ecological damage? You better believe it. They counted so many dolphins that had died, pelicans, all types of shorebirds, all types of fish, other marine life, jellyfish, sharks, you just name it, manatees. They saw deaths in these populations because of this oil spill. Will this ever be corrected? Well, probably through time. Will we ever know the extent of this damage? No, we will not. We can't see into the deep sea. We can't see the whole ocean floor in the Gulf of Mexico to see whether this oil is still there, because it most likely is. Will we ever know the extent of the damage? No. Will we ever see a rebound for all these species? I'm not sure. I hope so. So take a look at that in your Sumo web text. It is a very interesting read this week. You are going to write your final version of your planning document. So this is where you've gathered all your information that in the next 2 weeks then you're going to make a presentation out of. So this is your planning document. And you will turn it in for your week 6 assignment. Now, this is worth 168 points. The one that you did for week 5 is worth 50 points. So this is worth more than 3 times as many points as what you wrote for week 5. Okay? It's the same document. If I grade week 5 and you made a perfect score of 50 out of 50, all you're going to do is turn in the same document for week 6. If you did not, if you have missed points over these weeks, please go in and revise, fix what I tell you need to fix, and make the improvements, because I described to you what you need to change. So go back and read that feedback and fix everything so you get all those 168 points for week 6. And then in the next 2 weeks, so this is all your written information in paper form, really. In the next 2 weeks, you are going to make your presentations on your topic, using information that you've already gathered, not in the same format though. You're going to make slides, 5 to 7 slides. That'll be the last week, week 8. This next week, in week 7, you're going to make speaker's notes. Please watch my videos so you understand the difference between the two and how they work, because I'm here to help you understand how to do this work besides just understanding the topics. Okay. You also have discussion board postings in week 6. And we want you to express to all of us what you found was the most interesting thing that you found when you did your research. I can bet if you worked on GMOs, you have found that there is not a single study that shows that cancer is caused by eating GMOs. You will not find that because there is no study like that out there anywhere on the face of the planet. Diabetes is not caused by eating GMOs. Heart disease is not caused, etc., etc. So you may have found some interesting things. Or maybe your topic was electric vehicles and you figured out, they're not exactly as carbon friendly as everybody says, and there are some issues that they have. For one, where are you getting the power from that you plug your electric vehicle into to charge it? If that power is coming from a power plant that's fueled by coal burning, that's a little bit of a problem, right? And then you got the issue of the batteries of electric vehicles and how difficult they are to properly dispose of and all sorts of things like that. So what interesting thing did you learn from your research on your particular topic, and why was it interesting? Was it something that was unexpected? Was it a bigger issue than you even knew? And why is your topic relevant to you? Why did you pick this one? You picked it because you were interested in it for some reason. So how about tell us that? And then in your response post to 2 of your classmates, remember the initial post is due by Thursday night. The 2 response posts are due by Sunday. Your 2 response posts, what interests you about your other person's topic, your classmate's topic, and what other questions do you have for them? When you read this that they had written, what questions came to your mind about that topic? Okay, so you've got discussion board postings due in week 6. Also will be in week 8, but not week 7. All right, tip of the week. This is a big assignment this week, week 6. Proofread your work. Now, a lot of people have trouble proofreading. I will tell you that. I'm very good at it. I don't know why. I also can find Waldo in all those pictures. So anyway, proofread your work. One way to do this, if this is not one of your strong suits, right? Read it out loud to yourself. I know it sounds silly. I know it does, but you will catch mistakes when you have to read it out loud to yourself. Or get someone else to read it out loud to you and say, "Ooh, wait a minute. That didn't quite make sense the way that I said that." Or if you have somebody who's a really good editor and can proofread, get them to do it. If you have somebody in your family or friend or whoever, get them to do it. Pay attention to your spelling errors and grammar errors and punctuation errors, etc., and of course fix them. Now this is pretty easy to do because if you wrote this in Word, all of those are highlighted. If you use Word, they are highlighted right there, and it even tells you what the mistake is and how to fix it. So make sure you fix all of those because this is a really important assignment this week. And as usual, if you have any questions, any problems whatsoever, please let me know. m.sigmon@snhu.edu. And with that being said, I hope that you have a wonderful week number 6.